Well, it was disappointing. It was quite disappointing, I must say. The trailer looked bad. The concept, when when I first heard about the concept, there will be all female Ghostbusters. That was pretty exciting because I am a feminist, and it was incredibly pleasant to know that we got to the point where we're not afraid to have an all-female blockbuster. Because I remember reading memos of studio executives that were passed around in the 60s. There was some gender studies done on the audiences, and the findings were that our primary audience should be teen males, because if we make a movie with a teen male in mind, teen girls will go see that movie, whether it be with the teen male or by themselves. The study found that that girl will go see a movie that primarily directed, it was primarily directed at male audience. But male will not go see the movie that was primarily made with a female audience in mind. So that's why the main emphasis in the production in the 60s, 70s, all throughout those years, up till now, up to this point even, the main emphasis was on the movies with the male audience in mind. You make it for the males, girls will go see it too. You make it just for the girls, only girls will go see it. Males will not go see it. So, and this such a risky concept to flip Ghostbusters, the movie that is pretty much amazing, that is perfect. I really don't know how they decided to do that to that kind of movie. A lot of people love it. It's not Star Wars levels, but to me, actually, I never liked Star Wars. So to me, I loved Ghostbusters always. So to me, Ghostbusters are even more precious than Star Wars. But I think people like me would be in the minority because a lot of people like Star Wars, and it's a cultural cult phenomenon. So is Ghostbusters. When you think about it, Ghostbusters is pretty phenomenal in that regard. So I don't know. It was a very risky concept. I don't know how they decided that we are in a post-feminist society now, that gender roles are uh, flipped and nobody will make a big deal out of it. Um, I, I don't know. All of that controversy did not help. Did not help. People say that there is no bad publicity, but actually, when there is some substance to the criticism, sometimes, yeah, there is such a thing as bad publicity, I would say. And with Ghostbusters, so I'm just still on the concept. Just still on the concept of the all-female Ghostbusters. First of all, to make an all-female anything is pretty risky. Even today, for some reason, um, male audiences are the primary target. And even if you go to IMDb and check any movie's voting system, you will probably see that 90% of voters are males and about 10% are females. I don't know why there is no discrimination on IMDb. You don't face any special discrimination in registering on that website if you are a female. It's pretty equal opportunity website, but for some reason there are more males there than females, like a lot more males. I could not I still don't understand why that is, but it just is. There are more males there who want to discuss movies, there are more idiotic morons debating bullshit that are male than there are those who are female. I'm one of those idiotic morons debating bullshit that is in the minority that are female. But most of them are apparently males. And again, mm, still, it makes sense to keep male audiences in mind when creating a product, entertainment product, be it a movie, be it a TV show, be it a video game. Well, especially video games. I'm not sure the statistics, what kind of statistics on female versus male gamers is there. I'm an old generation. I'm an old generation person, so in my mind, girls don't play video games. But I get disproven a lot about that recently, so I don't know what the kids do nowadays. So I don't know, maybe now there are more females in gaming. Back in my day, there wasn't many. So still, the concept was risky. I'm still on the concept. Maybe the studio executives overestimated the success of feminism in our society. First of all, the third wave feminism is completely fucking up the brand. First of all, the brand feminism, to begin with, was never a popular brand. Nobody likes to be associated with the brand. And even less so now, with the third wave feminism going completely nuts with idiotic statistics that they read wrong, that they compile wrong. So, not even taking into account that feminism as a whole had to struggle a lot, and that it is struggling to survive now. Still, thinking about all female Ghostbusters and thinking that what might be a success, I'm still not past the concept. It's unbelievable. I thought I would just say a couple of words about my thoughts on the movie, but the concept itself blew me away. There was so much attached to it in my mind. There was problematic, that was troublesome, that was worrisome, that I did not think would work. So, all female Ghostbusters. It can theoretically work. Then I heard about the director, Paul Feig, and I love him. I love his body of work. I absolutely love Bridesmaids. I absolutely love The Heat. I loved Spy. I love Melissa McCarthy. And I love Kristen Wiig. I love Kate McKinnon. I absolutely used to adore Leslie Jones. I do not adore her anymore since the whole Milo Yiannopoulos incident. The way she handled that situation, I know she received a lot of harassment, but to blame Milo for that was a little bit, I don't know. I kind of lost respect for her, but before that, when we're still at the moment where it is a concept, the movie just um, exists as a concept, and we just I introduced two bits of information about it: who is the main cast, who's gonna be the director, whether the old cast are gonna have cameos or not. At that stage, I was super excited because I absolutely loved Leslie Jones in the Ghost Hunters SNL skit. She killed it. She absolutely killed it. She was the best there in the whole skit. I think after that she received more screen time. Before that, she was mostly the writer behind the scenes. She had some appearances on Weekend Update, but that skit really propelled her into stardom. And I really wanted to see her. I couldn't wait to see her in a feature-length film after I saw her in that skit. And I was not disappointed. She was good in the movie. With the material she was given, she did well. And but like I said, the whole Milo situation killed it. The whole Milo situation a little bit left some stains on my impression of the film as well. And the concept, yes, the concept is quite risky. All female cast. Flipping the movie loved by millions of testosterone driven males who, and also there is this fringe of real misogynists and sexists who exist um and not everybody who didn't like the trailer is a misogynist, obviously, but there are some and there are quite a lot of them. But it's, I don't even know if it's funny or not, because they hated the concept to begin with. From the very beginning they hated the concept. um the misogynists I'm mostly I talk about. But their argument and their pain is quite funny, I have to say. um so I'm still on the concept. Okay. Then you start thinking about the what is it gonna be? And then they release the trailers. I did not want to see the trailers. I do not like watching trailers because I like to be completely surprised by the film. I just like to read the synopsis. Um, I need to know that, but I do not like watching trailers because I don't want the movie to be spoiled. And nowadays, trailers usually spoil the whole movie. Beat by beat, they will spoil the whole movie, the whole script, every act. Like this, and you just, oh, okay, so I have to go to the extended version of this trailer now. And I did not want to watch the trailer, but after the uproar in the internet that you cannot get away from, when and you just need to see it, what everybody's talking about, even though I wanted to see the movie, but I did not want to watch the trailer. And I did watch the trailer, and it was horrible. And at first I wasn't sure if it's my internalized misogyny or is it really as objective as it can get, an objective reaction to the fucking trailer. I wasn't sure. I was just very I was blown away how bad it was. I couldn't believe, is it me or is this really bad? And I can't believe these people made Bridesmaids and Spy. I couldn't believe it. I even looked up the editors. The editors are the same. They are work with Paul Feig, and editing was horrendous. And not, I mean, I already started talking about the movie. I meant the editing in the movie. The editing of the trailer is usually done by different people, not the same people who make the trailer that the people who make the movie. So, but the trailer was edited even worse. Needless to say, it was horrendous. It was terrible. Oh my god. It was pretty bad. It made it look like a very slapsticky comedy. Well, it was. So I can't blame the trailer too much, but definitely the movie was a little bit better than the trailer, but still bad. Still bad. So, and all this internet hate, all this uproar about whether it is a good movie or not. And of course most people were upset because it's their favorite movie from childhood. And of course there is misogyny there, some unconscious misogyny, some that is pretty omnipresent. I think everybody has a little bit of misogyny. I have a little bit of a misogyny inside of me that I I try to be aware of it, and to see how my mind operates. But you can't catch every single unconscious thought that you've been programmed with. And so the jokes were not funny, they were forced. The acting was, I don't know, mediocre SNL skit kind. Like when they weren't trying, but when they got tired and were out of ideas, and they have to slap something together in couple of hours, couple of days, when it's already Thursday, we need to come up with something, and they slap some absolute horrendous skits together, and they don't even try to act them. So that was that kind of level. Most of the film was at that level. Then the film, of course, then the second trailer came out, and it was some people say it was better, but I don't know, it wasn't. It wasn't better. It was just the same. You see this neon ghosts that look like Scooby Doo, and the level of humor was pretty much on that in that area somewhere, the Scooby Doo area. So then you watch the film, then you go to the theater, and I really loved how it started. I know many people didn't like the beginning, the opening. I loved it. I loved the whole story behind it, behind the house, the story about this um the ghost. I did not like the transition into the credits, into the opening credits, because it went to a wide shot of the city. First of all, we went to the exterior of the house, then to the wide shot of the city, and just the Ghostbusters. Just that were the title of the movie. It had to go to. It had to be done in the way that the original Ghostbusters were done. The Ghostbusters logo on a black background. That would be beautiful. Just like they faded it out on in the trailer. Just that beautiful logo. I liked it. I liked the way they made the logo a little bit bluey, neony, bluish, greenish, kind of fog or smoke or what it was. I love that part in the trailer, but for some reason they decided to go with in a different direction. And then it opens with, oh my god, the characters. The characters of these four Ghostbusters. Actually, Leslie Jones was the more or less developed, more than any of them. Her character isn't developed at all, but hers is the most developed one of them all. The Kristen Wiig's scientist character. Oh my god, I don't even know where to begin. What was the problem here with the script? Was it with the acting? I can't blame acting because I love her from previous films. She can act. I can't blame directing because I know Paul Feig can direct. It felt like nobody took charge on this movie. It felt like there was no director, there was no boss, there was like nobody there. As if Paul Feig said, "Okay, Kristen Wiig, just do whatever you feel like doing. I trust you." And Kristen Wiig was like, "Okay, I'll do whatever. If it's something bad, Paul Feig will tell me." And the screenwriters probably thought, "Okay, we will write whatever," and the director and the actress, they will make something out of it. And everybody thought that the other one will be the creative force that will put it all together and make it into something beautiful. And nobody did. Nobody. The script is so. The directing is, okay, do your thing. And the acting is, oh my god. It was cringeworthy. That was a lot of cringe. In the first lines that come out of Kristen Wiig's mouth, it's cringe. I like the joke with the Amazon. That was funny. That was there was three funny scenes that made me chuckle. I love that. I'm grateful for that. I did not expect, after the trailer, I did not expect even one chuckle from this movie. I got some. So I'm very grateful that there is a funny scene here and there. Not many. Not many. They're not in abundance, but they exist. The script overall is very bad. It is structured in a very weird way. The structure and the characters are what's bad with this movie. The structure of the script doesn't make sense. The beats of the story do not. The story just never keeps up, picks up the track. You do not feel traction. You do not feel that it's flowing. It just feels like a set of unrelated scenes slapped together. There is no continuous, doesn't feel like one continuous story that is just flowing. It really feels just like every other, most of the jokes are forced. The same way all the scenes feel forced into coexistence together. And they share nothing in common. They're just a multiculturalism. Just a multicultural society that is forced to live together and shares no common heritage, nothing, no common culture, nothing in common. They are just forced to live together in the same space. This is just perfect metaphor for multiculturalism. They share nothing. They don't flow together. They're just forced into coexistence together. And nothing good comes out of that. You just feel like the movie cannot cannot just pick up the pace. This scene happens, then this scene happens, and you feel very little connection in between. It's just what has to do with the story aspect of the script. Then the dialogue. I don't even know how much of what the characters are saying was improv and how much was written. It is bad. Either way, it's bad. So, Kristen Wiig's character. Quiet, awkward person. Awkward, normal, boring, ordinary, regular, shy, timid person. She never feels like a scientist. She feels like some bland person at a party that you don't even notice, that just is there. And she did not. And there is a difference between real life and movies. Okay, so because some people can say, yeah, okay, a scientist can be a timid, boring, bland person that just sits in a corner at a party. Yes, yes, in real life. But in a movie, characters have to be interesting. The character has to be interesting. The character has to project intelligence, not just be intelligent. Like, I'm not saying Kristen Wiig isn't intelligent. She can be a very smart lady. But to act as if she's intelligent in a movie, it doesn't have anything to do with her knowing quantum physics in real life. Just pretend that you do. Project that you actually know something, like Russell Crowe did in A Beautiful Mind. You could buy him as a brilliant scientist because he was projecting that. You could feel it. He isn't a brilliant scientist. He's about as much of a scientist as Kristen Wiig is. Russell Crowe, that is. But acting is exactly the ability to project an image of a smart person. Not to be a smart person, but to project an image of a smart person on the viewer, on the audience, and make it believable. Kristen Wiig didn't do that. She was just a bland, boring person with very inconsistent character. She doesn't have a character. I don't even know what her character was. Melissa McCarthy had some character, but it's her usual Melissa McCarthy character. So she has this shtick, and it helped her a little bit. So she was not as insufferable, on the screen. I could tolerate her. She had some character. I could buy her as a somewhat scientific mind. Then Kate McKinnon. My biggest hope was Kate McKinnon because I love her. She is amazing on SNL. She does Justin Bieber like nobody else. She does Hillary Clinton amazing. She pretty much in every skit she steals it. She steals the skit in every time she's on screen. But in here, again, the same thing as with Kristen Wiig. You just don't buy her as an inventor or an engineer. She's just a weird, wacky person who sits there. She doesn't even look organic. She there is also this thing in acting is to be organically symbiotic, in a symbiotic relationship with the environment, with the set. When the viewer has no question that it is your house, even though you know it's just three sides of the house, it's just three sides of the room, and then there are cameras for looking at you from the fourth wall, and it's the first time you ever are on the set. The task of an actor is to fool the audience, to trick the audience into believing it is your house, and you live here, and it's your living space, and you own it. It is your space. Kate McKinnon, when we first see her, I actually thought she was some person who wandered in, some homeless person who wandered into the lab and was just sitting there in the corner, like we saw uh the guy who brought in food, Benny, before. Somewhat of that level. Benny looked more organic in that scene than Kate McKinnon, and I was looking at her. I was like, what is she doing here? She did not feel like she owned the set. She did not feel. It exactly felt like she's on the set. She did not. I did not feel like it was her working space. Apparently, she's such a wacky scientist that only does science stuff and only comes up with inventions. So she spends a lot of time in that lab. And it feels like she's been there for 5 minutes, and by accident. That was my first problem with it. Second of all, the way she acts. I know she was supposed to be the first lesbian Ghostbuster, but she was just bad. In her passes at Kristen Wiig. Okay, she's probably supposed to be an awkward scientist lesbian who is making passes on random women, and it's okay because there are some wacky male scientists, I'm sure, who make weird passes on women, but it was just bad. I don't even know. Half of the time I wasn't even sure what she's doing. It wasn't cute, it wasn't charming, it wasn't dorky in a charming way. It looked like bad acting. I'm sorry because I really love Kate McKinnon. I love her. I absolutely adore her. And she sucked. And again, it's not her problem because I don't know, the script also didn't give her much to do. productively or constructively. She felt, but also it's with the direction. I blame the director too. I blame Paul Feig because he is the one who's supposed to coach them. He's the one who's supposed to help them, especially Kate, who has never been in a film production before apparently, and she has a different kind of experience with live performances. It's like theatrical performances, theater. It's just from theater going to cinema. He had to guide her. And there was no guidance there. There was just nothing. Nothing there. Nothing. Just do whatever with this shitty script. There is shitty script. There is out of nowhere these inventions, and she made them. And she just presents them in such a weird way. First of all, it was just way too much of the emphasis on their inventions. That again would go to the script and the mythology behind the. I also did not like the mythology behind the whole Ghostbusters thing. When they use the proton packs with these streams against ghosts, I do not know what they expect to happen from there, because in the original Ghostbusters, we know that the proton, those streams that the proton packs generate, they catch ghosts. You catch a ghost, you pull him into the trap, you open the trap, and the ghost gets sucked in. Here, they don't have a trap when they first test the equipment. They don't have a trap. They never tested the equipment. What are they going to do? What are they trying to do with those beams, with the proton pack? What are you trying to do? You don't have a fucking trap. What, you caught a ghost? Yes, you wrapped that thing around the ghost. And what are you gonna do next? Then the train came, and the train, for some reason, entrapped the ghost and took him away. How, why? Why did train, the solid, made of solid matter, entrap the ghost? That is, I don't really, that was a little bit confusing. And then we realized that they can cut up the ghost. Kate McKinnon created the ghost shredder, so you can kill the ghost. How does that work exactly? How do you fucking kill a ghost? The whole mythology of ghosts in this movie was a little bit different than it was in the original one, and I did not appreciate it. Then you can punch a ghost, you can cut the ghost, you can blow up the ghost, and then the ghost dies and goes where exactly? That thing I attribute to the bad screenwriting. That has nothing to do with direction or with. Although it does. The director usually oversees the writing of the script, especially in this case when Paul Feig is a co-writer of the script. So yeah, it's just bad thinking. It's just poorly thought through film. Even the mythology doesn't make sense. How does that happen? So, like I said, there are no beats. They tried. I was very afraid that they would go the Psycho way, and Gus Van Sant's Psycho, when he just remade the movie shot by shot. I was afraid of something like that, and I did not want that. I wanted a completely standalone movie to do its own thing. And even some people wanted them to be their children, the daughters of the original Ghostbusters. I did not want that. All that bullshit I don't want. I wanted this to be a good standalone movie, reimagining of the Ghostbusters. I don't even know why they called it Ghostbusters and why they needed to to have the logo or anything. They could have just as easily made ghost hunters or metaphysicists or metaphysicians, metaphysics hunters, and it would be fine because it really isn't like the original. It's um, it's not even a remake, it's a reimagining of the Ghostbusters. And they really didn't have to call it that. They should have called it something else. I don't know. And we're getting to Kevin. Let's talk about Kevin. Kevin gave me a couple of chuckles with the glasses when when he rubbed his eye through the glass that had no through the glasses that had no glass. That was funny. I really don't have too big of a problem with him being so stupid. I have some minor problem with that because it's so unrealistically stupid that it's not funny. It has to be a little bit realistic to be funny, but okay, it gave me a couple of jokes. The Mike Hat was idiotic thing. It was one of the most painful things in the film for me, at least. That and a lot of what a lot of what they did was pretty painful, but okay. I love the Melissa McCarthy and the Dean exchange. That was funny. I liked the way they stole the equipment. It was also unexpected and funny, so pretty much all three things that were funny. Yeah. Anything else that they tried to do did not land. Not with me, at least. So I really wanted this movie to be good. I really wanted it to be something special, something with a replay value, something that I would like to watch every once in a while. It is not that. Girl power thing in this case, just no, no. It had such great potential. We could have had a great female Ghostbusters movie. We could have had a first lesbian Ghostbuster, and we could have had it all done well. Instead, we have a huge pile of shit. And that just does not work. It doesn't work. The fucking villain is so not interesting and so. At first, he had potential. At first, I liked him. His and Leslie Jones exchange was funny. It was also funny. Yeah. But I know he read the book and he created some machinery to get the ghost into this world, and he somehow trained his mind to be superhuman, so after he dies he can control his consciousness and this energy plasma ectoplasma energy. He can control it in some absolutely virtuoso ways, all thanks to the book written by Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy. I loved all that. People didn't like that, but I liked all of that. He just suffered the same thing that everybody else in this movie suffered. He was just not developed well and not acted well, and he had a shitty dialogue. So basically, he had the same problems. I love the concepts behind most of this. I loved the concept for the villain. I really loved that. So, but seriously, it was not done well. The concept was good. The thought put into it was not enough. Not enough thought, and the script turned out to be a piece of shit. But I liked the concept of this kind of villain. The underappreciated person who directs his creativity into destructive ways because he is underappreciated and he wants to punish society for not appreciating him enough. And I liked how they went with the Ghostbusters this way. That normally it's the nerdy guy versus the hot jock, and of course they're like, oh, okay, of course, you're beautiful, you are successful, that's why you're a nice person, and I am unsuccessful, and that's why I'm a mean person, that's why I'm a villain. And I loved how in this movie they emphasized that Melissa McCarthy says, no, everybody makes fun of us too, they mock us, they disrespect us, but we're still good people. So I really like that angle. I don't like oversimplifying people's motivations with mere, oh, everybody hates me, so I must destroy the world now. No, people are different. People, some people are just evil, and some people are just not. Even though evil is kind of a relative term, but let's just say some people have a little bit more anger in them than the others. Some people will take the same words, the same jokes, lightheartedly. Some people will take those jokes uh, um, as an insult and will be outraged and will start planning revenge. People take things differently. People are different. And I really like that. I don't like oversimplifying people's motivations and giving them explanations. Oh, this person was mistreated when this person was a child. He had an alcoholic parents. That's why he's a serial killer. And this person had lovely parents, and everything was given to him, and that's why he got used to that everything is given to him. So that's why he's a serial killer. No, things are a lot more nuanced than that. There are no simple causality uh, effects. I really like that angle with the villain. If they, unless I would have appreciated if they given him a little bit more thought, that character. But still, it was not completely bad. And the costumes. Oh, in the trailer I hated those costumes. I so much hated them. I know the original costumes were also pretty bad, but were not meant to be good. But they looked okay. But the new ones, for some reason, evoked a very negative reaction from me. Maybe because it's females and I am socially conditioned to see females only sexualized, and when they're not sexualized, I feel that there is something wrong with the picture. Mm, perhaps, like I said, there are instances of internalized misogyny when the female has internalized all the negative stereotypes about other females and accepts it as truth about her own gender. So it happens. It happens, and so in the movie I didn't even notice those costumes. They were so unimportant. Everything else going on was so much worse. And those costumes did not even stand out to me. I did not care at all about the costumes. The whole other thing, everything else was just bad. Everything else. Like I said, the movie just never picked up the pace. I kept waiting for it to start. It had potential. Footage had some potential. Okay, jokes aren't funny. Most of the jokes aren't funny. Characters aren't there. But the movie has some action scenes or action feel to it. Why not use good music? Why not put their footage on some good music and salvage footage this way? There was never good soundtrack. There was never good um you know, visuals to sound coexistence. There was none. Then there was some shots, especially the driving shots. The first time we see the car and it's going, and I'm waiting for this music that would be like very very good and upbeat, and no, it doesn't happen. It's just so bland, so meh. Then when they are training again, they could put some montage on training. Make training montage with cool music, with good music, with something that you would like. The thing with the movies is that you can put everything together. It's like art that combines everything in itself: visuals, sound, everything is coming together. Story, visuals, and sound, all forms of art coming together. And in the movies, you really like to return to the movie, um, to those music parts that you loved. Music in the movie, you cannot just overestimate the importance of the music in the movie. It it's sometimes the only thing that makes you return to the film to watch it again and again and again, and you love returning to those scenes that had great music. And it's not even when the music is great, it's when it's really in tune, it's really synchronized with the action that you see on screen. And action, I don't mean in the genre meaning of the word, fighting or mm, shooting or driving fast, any kind of action, just any kind of movement of humans on screen put to music in a certain synchronized fashion that just works, and you love watching it over and over again. The perfect example of this is any of Tarantino movies. The man has mastered the art of making the sound and visual move in perfect sync together in such a way that it creates the most pleasant, the most pleasing waves in your brain that you want to be repeated again and again. And you even love listening to the music. And it happens almost to all of his soundtrack choices, that you experience those pleasant emotions even from just listening to the music. You just hear the music from his movie and you instantly experience the same joy, the same euphoria, the same um, injection of endorphins in your bloodstream that you experienced when you're watching the movie. And when your footage sucks, when your jokes suck, when your acting is so, when your direction is non-existent, please at least salvage the footage with soundtrack. It's possible. I've seen it happen. I've seen some really stupid ideas, idiotic screenplay, uh, really mediocre acting, salvaged, saved by a good choice of music. And you don't even notice. You still love it. You don't even notice that the acting sucks, that jokes are idiotic, the script is non-existent. Existent. People just love it, and they don't know why they loved it. They don't fucking know, but but it's because of the music. There was it's amazing what kind of effect the right music has on people, on the audiences. So here, I don't understand why they didn't do it. They had a perfect theme song. First of all, they didn't do montage of their training with that equipment. The original Ghostbusters didn't have any training, and you don't even notice that. It's because it's a perfectly made film. It has a perfect screenplay that flows. The movie picks up the pace. It builds up the tension. You feel the real threat coming up. In this movie, there is no no flow, there is no build up, there is no tension, there is no threat. Like I said, it's just a set of number of scenes slapped together. But still, you could have at least have one montage. If not training, okay, then after they catch that stupid ghost or demon or whatever the fuck that was, I don't know what it was. It wasn't funny. The cameo wasn't funny. It was annoying. I really hate when they use idiotic people who can't act for cameos. Anyway, and it looks forced. It takes you out of the movie, and I don't like it. Anyway, they catch that thing, and then they are in the mayor's office. Where is this, you know, the montage of them doing things, of them catching ghosts, more ghosts, and montage, and the music? Please give me one musical number that I will want to return to. There were instances when I went to go see a movie a second time because of the musical numbers in it. And musical numbers, I don't mean actual like in a musical. I mean a good editing, good synchronized visuals and sound. Not even good, brilliantly synchronized visuals with sound. You want to experience it again. I don't really know why they didn't do it, but it's they don't have it. They don't have the montage. They don't have any kind of montage. Then the mayor's office. Then I don't even want to touch upon the story. Oh my god. The story is like, stop attracting attention. We know ghosts exist, but well, it's not. It doesn't infuriate me. It's not insultingly bad, but it's pretty bad. I love Cecily Strong there. I love her on SNL. I don't know. I didn't like the whole take on the mayor there. Plus the agents who do nothing at all. We're just told that they do things. They will take care of things. They just stand there, and then they stand there at the end of the movie. It is so underdeveloped and so not well. It isn't thought out well. It it's I don't see any excuse for that. It's a it's a good concept. It had a huge budget. It had all the stars in it. Just think the concept through. Think the screenplay through. You can do that. You did it before. You have some real good movies in your portfolio. All of you. All of you involved in this movie. You have fantastic fucking resumes and portfolios. What the fuck happened? What the fuck? Ah, all of you. Screenwriter, to director, to actresses, to the editors, everybody involved has a great fucking resume. Why? What the fuck happened with this one? Why did you drop the ball? Like, I don't know. Wow. Ah. Misogynists are happy, but not really because they didn't. They're not happy. Nobody's happy. Not even misogynists are happy because they were screaming and yelling and uh, about how did you even make it. They didn't want it even to be made. So they are not happy in principle. They're not happy that it even exists. So nobody fucking happy. People who wanted to like it are not happy. People who wanted to hate it are not happy because they didn't want the movie to exist in the first place. So not even misogynists are happy. You really dropped the ball there. So that's pretty bad. So I don't even know. Oh, Melissa McCarthy lost weight. Maybe that's the problem. She lost weight for the role, or is she losing weight in general? I don't know, but she looked a lot thinner than she was in Bridesmaids and even in Spy. And Uh, the climax of the film. Well, it's a complete clusterfuck. First of all, everything leading up to it. Again, the script, how it was played out. The concept is great. The concept I love. Yes, that we have the fake eight ending, the fake climax, and the fake eight ending. I really love that. That there is a fake concept and fake climax and fake ending. But then they're separated. Kristen Wiig in her bed, and we needed a little bit more. Well, maybe not. Maybe it's pretty obvious that he read the book and he learned how to do all the things, how to become super ghost, the one who will lead the army of ghosts. Okay, he learned it. Then the final funny joke when Kristen Wiig was telling everybody about the doom that is coming, and it turns out to be the garbage container being taken out. That was funny. Yeah, I laughed. So what else? What else? And yeah, and the real climax was pretty shitty. Yeah, whole thing with Melissa McCarthy getting possessed. Leslie Jones screaming. The whole thing was. I was just okay. I'll. Oh, wake me up. Wake me up when this is over. So then this Kevin, who is screaming about being a Ghostbuster. I was born to be a Ghostbuster. I mean, now he knows that they are Ghostbusters. The dude didn't know how to answer the phone. He isn't sure where he works. Wasn't sure how to tell them that, if he should tell them that there is somebody in the waiting room. But he knows that they're Ghostbusters and he wants to do what they do. Even though he has no fucking idea what it is. I was so surprised. I wasn't surprised in the ghost possessing him. I was surprised in him knowing that they are Ghostbusters. Now he's smart all of a sudden. So this script has serious consistency issues. It is so inconsistent. It is so inconsistent. None of the characters, not a single one of them is consistent, except for Leslie Jones's character. But again, she's given a lot of stupid jokes when she brought up the car and the whole exchange about the dead body. Eh, oh no, just no, just no. It was a very, very poorly written exchange. If it was an improv, it was. It's not better, it's not worse, it's just as bad. Just as bad. It's just shitty scene. And Kate McKinnon rolling her eyes there, like, okay. No, 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 no. Terrible. Terrible. All of it was terrible. Anyway, the climax. Yeah, the climax happened. By that time I was just, give me just something, please. And they had some very weird action scenes. They were kind of neat. And there was like 15 seconds when Kate McKinnon goes and does some flips and flops and cartwheels or what she was doing. There is a 15 seconds and she's doing it, and it is put to the soundtrack. There was the 15 seconds that were done well. I loved it so much, but it was just 15 seconds. Then we're back to stupid soundtrack, idiotic visuals. That I don't even have much problem with the neon ghosts. I didn't like them in the trailer. In the trailer, they looked like Scooby Doo, but in the movie, I got used to them. So I don't have problems with the ghost design. But it was just not Not entertaining, not interesting, not funny. Just not funny. Any of that. And then the main ghost, then he turns into the Ghostbusters logo. Uh, Look, if you're doing your own thing, don't do that then. Don't do this, choose the form of the destructor or whatever. Don't do that then. Just do your own thing. Because it was bad. I did not like that they are fighting the Ghostbusters logo. When they shot it in the dick, it was funny. Yeah. I don't know why everybody had was outraged about it. Nobody had a problem with the 21 Jump Street when they actually uh, shot somebody's dick off, if I remember it correctly. And there was no outrage about that. It was like, oh, it's okay. And there was an actual human male that got his dick shot off. I did not like that at all because it was a real human, and I didn't find it funny. I don't know. But here it was a ghost. It was a very disturbing transformation of the Ghostbusters logo, looking like half a snowman, half a clown, half a I don't know what it was. It was disturbing, disgusting, and it was funny because I didn't even realize it had balls or dick when they said, "Did you shoot it in the dick?" And it's like, "Yeah." Did you do it? And I didn't see it as anti-man thing at all. I mean, every time there is genital mutilation in movies, it's anti-man thing, and there is a lot of male genital mutilations in films, at least in the ones that I watch, and they're made by men for men. They're mostly action movies or um, drama, historical drama, stuff like that. And nobody has any problem with that, but God forbid girls shoot a ghost in the dick. Okay. So, oh, um, I love the credits. The credit design was amazing. It was superb. So, I've been talking about this for an hour. I thought I would do like a quick recap of my impression of the movie. It's been over an hour and I still feel like I have things to say. Um, so yeah, my main issue was with editing and the script. Script is the biggest problem. Then editing. Even with bad script, there was still some footage that could be salvaged and made into something entertaining. Then we have improv, idiotic improv, and acting with no direction and no characters, and the characters not even working together. They don't work together. They seem like random people, random people put into one scene together, and that's what it was. There is no flow. There is no organic chemistry between any of these characters. Sometimes there is some chemistry coming between Melissa McCarthy and Kristen Wiig, but it's not consistent either. It happens from time to time. There was a weird toast at the end that Kate McKinnon delivered. There was very weird exposition on a character that comes at the very end of the movie. It shouldn't have been there at all, or it should have been done earlier. The cameos. I did not care at all because there will never be Ghostbusters 3, so I don't really care. Um, Harold Ramis died, and Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and the Winston. I don't know the actor's name. I don't know. Without Harold Ramis, there can't be a third Ghostbusters. Besides, I really don't understand the whole deal with Ghostbusters 2. Um, I loved it. I don't understand why so many people hate on it. But the same people who hate on Ghostbusters 2, they want Ghostbusters 3. Ghostbusters 2 was made by the same people who made the first one. And you want the third one to be made by these exact people who made the first and the second one, but you hated the second one. What makes you think the third one will be amazing or good or anything like the first one and not like the second one? Although there is so much weird shit going on around this movie. They don't like Ghostbusters 2 exactly because it is like Ghostbusters 1. What? Why? If you liked the first one, if I was the one making the second one, I would make all the same exact choices that those people made. Because, yes, the first one worked. People like this thing. People like these story beats. Let's have the exact same story beats. Yes, the baby thing was stupid, but you can tolerate that. I like the painting villain. I like that. There's very magnificent, really intimidating villain, and very interesting. A villain with a phantasmagoric backstory. I loved it. I loved Ghostbusters too. I wasn't even sure. I was thinking which one I like best, the first one or the second one. I think for some time I even liked the second one better because it was longer. The longer the movie is, the better, because I never want a good movie to end. I always wanted it to keep going. So I don't really know what people expect from Ghostbusters 3 if they didn't like Ghostbusters 2. To me, Ghostbusters 2 was amazing. It was funny, it had even more jokes in it. I didn't like their explanation for what happened to Ghostbusters, how they were considered frauds and how they were blamed for everything. That part of the story didn't make much sense to me, but you mm, brush over it pretty quickly and you move on and you love everything that is going on in the movie, so you forget about those minor discrepancies that did not make sense, like in the logic of the universe that the movie created, that just something, when something doesn't make sense, it rubs you the wrong way. But if everything else is good and everything and the story is flowing, you keep going, you kind of forget about those minor details. So I was never, especially since Harold Ramis died, I did not expect any Ghostbusters 3. So the cameos I did not care much for, or at all. Like I said, I don't see why they even connected this movie to the franchise. It could be a completely different standalone movie. Don't call it Ghostbusters. Call it anything else. Call it anything else. Just not. It's not Ghostbusters even. I don't even know what they do. What they want to do. What do they do in the movie? They develop the attack. They catch one ghost, demon, something, then they release it. Exactly. So, and then they create the container for them at the very end of the movie. Okay, it's a Ghostbusters origin story. Clearly, they were setting up a trilogy or a franchise or something. I don't know. But like I said, the movie is done very sloppily, and not technically sloppily. I'm not saying that there are black frames in the editing, but the thought process put into it was not very precise. There is a lot of sloppy thinking involved in this project. And it shows so bad, and it hurts the movie so bad. So, Bill Murray, his cameo, he doesn't believe in ghosts, he is a ghost debunker, he is on TV, then he comes over. I so didn't care. Even it's Bill Murray, I don't care. His character was so out of place there. Like, why would you even have that? And that's his story arc, that we see him on TV, then he comes over and gets thrown out of the window. That's the thing, that's the whole thing. Why? It is done so sloppily, it's even edited so in such a weird way that it was a funny joke, but it was edited so that I couldn't even enjoy it. And you need that fucking shot of him on the pavement. You need it. Don't play coy with me now, okay? Don't play coy. You killed him. You killed the motherfucker. Show me the fucking body. You killed him. You went there. Don't tell me that not showing his body is class. It's not class. It's just I need that body. Show it to me for the comedic effect for the end of this. Anyway, but even it's not even with that. Even the whole thing, how Melissa McCarthy was pushing Kristen Wiig, how Kristen Wiig just went after that trap, and how she released it, and how he reacted to it. The whole editing of the whole scene, all of it was bad. I don't know, maybe the footage taken was bad, but I don't think so. I think the editing fucked it up. Whatever the footage was there, whatever the potential the footage had, editing did not do it justice, even in that scene. Then we have another scene when they're practicing with their equipment and they blow up Benny's motorcycle or scooter or whatever the fuck it was. And again, he comes out, it's funny, okay, they blew up his motorcycle and they show it in slow motion, but probably phantom cameras were involved. And it is shot in a very cinematic way, very beautifully. It lands, they go about their jokes, and they go about, I think they kept practicing or something. And then Benny comes up to the motorcycle, to the scooter, and just raises his shoulders like, oh. And you see him in the wide shot. Granted, the guy probably wasn't the best actor, and again, just like any of them, just like none of them was given probably normal direction or guidance how to act or whatever. But at least there, you should have showed his face. We need a face reaction shot to that kind of joke, to land it, to feel it, to let the joke flow. You need to see that shit. Anyway. That was disappointing. Plus, the way they act with those proton packs and with those energy streams. There is no sense of danger to this at all. Those are pretty dangerous things, and you were made aware of that in the first Ghostbusters. You just felt it, especially when they got in the elevator and switch it on. And just switching the proton pack on, and they already got tense because something can happen. We have like nuclear reactors on our backs, and something very dangerous is involved. With these girls, they're just like, nothing's gonna happen, and let's just shoot it whatever all over the place and have zero regard for anybody's safety. And they thought, I think the thinking behind this was that they are badass. They are the girls who are daredevils. They are not afraid of nuclear power. But in reality, it just removes any sense of realism. Any sense of danger is gone because these characters act like it's no big deal, and then you feel like, oh, it's no big deal, and it removes part of the fun. Ghostbusters, the first one, they were scared. They were constantly scared. The first scene when they run away from the ghost, Egon and uh, Dan Aykroyd, I don't remember his character's name. They were scared even before anything started. Bill Murray's character was fucking around, but those two were scared. And then when the ghost showed up in all its magnificence, then they all got scared and they were running away screaming. And now we are afraid to show girls scared because, yeah, everybody will say, oh, you see, women are weak. They are screaming because they saw the ghost. And I can see that mindset. I can see where they're coming from, but it removes realism. It really kills it. Because those Ghostbusters, the male Ghostbusters, were scared. They were scared, and it made it look real. It that what added to the fun. That was part of the fun. That one was scared. They had feelings. They had emotions about everything that was going on around them. These characters have zero emotions. It's amazing how people are afraid to show women emotions because, yeah, yes, misogynists will be saying, you see, women are emotional, and um and let's show them that women are not emotional. Well, people are emotional. Everybody is emotional. Misogynists don't get that. And they will never get that. They will stay sexist misogynists. It's it's this that you show that girls have no emotions and are not scared is not going to change the misogynistic mindset. They just can't think of the male emotions. They just can't think outside the box. They don't realize that men get into fights over a look. Oh, he looked at me that way. Oh, how dare you say this to me? They get offended by the tone. Men are very emotional, just like women are. Everybody's emotional. It's a myth that women are more emotional than men. Women are more sensitive. That is a different thing from emotion. But emotion is pretty equally distributed. Anger, hate, fear, sadness, all of that is equally distributed between sexes. Women are just more sensitive, and they are not afraid to show their sensitivity. With males, they try to be more like a protector, so they don't want to indulge in sensitivity, which is perceived by the weak as weakness, which is ironic. It is actually sensitivity is perceived as weakness only by weak people. But I'm not going to be touching upon a whole bunch of psychological issues of billions of people. Maybe all these psychological issues are part of the game that we are playing as human species on this planet. So it's fun. It's part of the fun. Comes with the comes in the package. So the thing is, they were not emotional. Yep. Yeah. They did not feel fear. They did not feel excitement. They were bland. They were boring. They were generic. The lead characters were generic. The only one who was scared once I think, Leslie Jones, once or twice. The one when she saw a mannequin when they went to the concert, that uh, that's the scene where her fear was very real, and it made the scene look real. The first time she saw that prisoner's ghost, I don't know, something about her fear or the way it was edited. Again, she's running away, and we are and her audio is put over a wide shot, and you don't really get that. I did not like that, the choices of, again, I didn't like the editing choices there with showing the wide shot of her running away. I would much prefer a close-up shot of her running away facing the camera, as opposed to a wide shot of her running away from the camera and some bullshit she says put over it. It's kind of, I don't understand. I love the editing of other movies that these people did as like two editors on this film. I don't understand how they fucked it up this time. I did not like editing here at all. Anyway, but her fear made it real in the concert singing scene. But not when that thing was on her shoulders. That whole scene was terrible. Terrible. Absolutely disastrous. But anyway, I digress. The thing is, they should have had emotions. The original Ghostbusters had emotions, and had a whole lot of emotions. Movies are about emotions. They're not about being bland cutouts walking around saying lines to each other. They're about processing, emotional processing of events happening in the script, fake events in the fake world, processed by real humans, giving real human emotion. This is the magic of cinema. This is the magic that happens, and this is the magic that was lost on this film, on the Ghostbusters 2016. Then it was the cameo by Janine, was kind of meh, didn't destroy anything, didn't add anything, wasn't great, wasn't horrible. Was barely, fairly tolerable. Dan Aykroyd was very rushed. I don't know, the same. It is just I was just numb. It was just numb. Okay, yeah, keep doing this. I just don't care anymore. By that time, by that point, I did not care much anymore. So it was okay. It wasn't terrible. Again, it didn't destroy anything, didn't save anything clearly. And then it was the Winston. That cameo actually was good. That was good. The exchange was not bad. The dialogue was bad. The exchange wasn't that bad. Sigourney Weaver. It was okay. It was okay. It didn't ruin the whole film. Didn't save anything. It was just on this level of barely being mediocre. So barely mediocre to levels. This film is a pretty mediocre film. I wouldn't say it's Pixels levels. Pixels was very bad. Not even mediocre. It was really, really bad. Ghostbusters is a little bit less than mediocre, but something around that. So my biggest issue with it, of course, is screenplay. The biggest problem is the screenplay. They chose to go with the origin story. They chose to show the equipment, they create this fun equipment, but they forgot about developing a flowing, organically flowing story. Scenes slowly turning into another, like turning up scenes, coherently telling one continuous story, flowing organically, naturally throughout the timeline. No, it was just a set of scenes, bunch of scenes slapped together, and with no general flow, with very, very disorganized structure. The structure of the screenplay was uh, messy, very incoherent, not there. The structure just wasn't there. And the dialogue was bad. Bad. The improv, even worse. And, like I said, the worst thing, they didn't show any emotion. They didn't care. They had no fear. They had no fascination. They try to show fascination, but it feels fake when they look at the first ghost. Oh, it's the most beautiful thing ever. But you don't really get any sense from them. They say things, they scream things, but they don't seem to feel anything. That was my biggest issue with this. So the script, the dialogue, well, the structure of the script, the dialogue, uh, acting, and of course editing. Like I said, even with having said all of that, some good editing could have salvaged some of this. It could have been better. It could have been done better with good editing, with good soundtrack. They had a good theme song. They didn't even use it for any of the montages. There was no montage. That's my other issue. So pretty much all the problems come from the underdeveloped characters and messy script. The concept was good. I really loved the concept. I was looking forward to seeing all-female Ghostbusters, but it just didn't deliver. It just didn't deliver. I don't know what they're gonna do with the sequel, if there is gonna be a sequel or not. I'm not particularly sure what Sony is planning to do with this. Thing is, I was expecting a lot from this all-star team of director who I love, actresses who I love, editors whose work I admire, and it just didn't deliver. Everything was bad. It wasn't as bad as the trailer, but pretty bad. Pretty bad. Still, I'm glad that I saw it. I'm glad that it exists because it gave me a lot of fun. At least for the joy of watching people online going at it. I don't know. I love a good banter when it's on Twitter or on IMDb. So at least for that, it delivered some very good entertainment. And I'm really glad that it exists. And I don't know what it means for the future though, because if it's gonna be a major flop, uh, future of all-female comedies or all-female blockbusters could be in danger. Even though I really don't think this has anything to do with them being female. Not directly, anyway. The flop, I mean. The fact that this movie flopped has nothing to do with them being females. It has something to do with all the reasons I mentioned, with screenplay being crap, with acting being so-so, with direction being non-existent or very laid back. All of that, like it really felt like everybody thought the other one will do it, the trick. Everybody felt like the other one will pick up the tab, and nobody did. Nobody picked the tab on this one. I can't even blame one person for this. I can't even say if it was a director or actors or screenwriters or editors. Everybody fucked up. I like the visual effects though. The VFX team was amazing, and even though I didn't have much faith in neon ghosts, it was nice. It was the least of this film's problems. Yeah. But I'm glad I saw it. I'm glad that it exists. It is fun. It is very fun. So, as a phenomenon, not as a film, but as a phenomenon, it is fun.